Greetings beatmakers. Today we're talking about one of the fundamentals of drumming and of beat making, which is eighth note and quaver beats. Before you get freaked out by that little bit of theory talk, what I'm about to show you is one of the most powerful and simplest ways I know to learn these beats and rhythms. And they relate directly, like most of the Beatmaker material that I'm showing, to drumming and the history of drumming in pop music. These beats are universal. And to prove it, I've got a whole set of MIDI controllers and drum pads set up, and I'm going to show you how you can play these beats on all those different controllers. We've got a great live set for you to download and practice with, and I've got these new animations which are called Beatclocks, and they're going to help you learn these rhythms, to count in time, and to improve your overall beat making skills. There's a very clear and simple system that I've set out here for you to learn these beats with. And if you follow them consistently and with a little bit of practice every day, I promise you it's going to work really great for your beat making. Possibly the most important thing about playing rhythms is counting. Why? Counting gives us a map. It helps us know where we are in the music. If you look at the transport in Ableton Live, for example, you'll see that everything in the arrangement view especially, and also within clips, is laid out in a system of bars and beats. This is the way that we know where we are in the music and how we stay in time better. The first counting pattern that we'll learn is a way to count out quavers or eighth notes. And there are 4 beats in the bar. So we will count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I was to put those onto a hi-hat part, while I was counting, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I was to play it on my push or on a MIDI controller, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Many drum racks and drum kit instruments have the same mapping for sounds, and the hi-hat sound is usually played on the note F sharp on your keyboard, or on this pad on your push, or any other MPC style drum pad. This is a really good time to introduce you to the live set. The live set contains these beat clock animations, which run in time with Live's transport. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I can change the tempo at any time by changing the tempo of Live's transport. I can change this to 90 BPM, for example, and the beat clock will now play back at 90 BPM. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The beat clocks play as animations in Live's video window. If you can't see Live's video window, you can access it through the View menu, where it can be toggled, or you can also use the keyboard shortcuts Command-Option-V on Mac or Control-Alt-V on PC. If you have a push, you will get visual feedback on any beat by selecting either of the Beat Audio tracks, Beat Audio 808 or Beat Audio Acoustic. And you can see that I'll get some visual feedback on my push here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and that is showing the parts animated of what I need to play. If I'm playing push, all I need to do is select the play channel and I can play away in time with my beat. Check this out, I'll play with beat A1. I'll slow it down nice and slow. Let's make it 60 BPM to start. And I select beat A1 and then I hit go. 1 and 2 and 3. And here I go with my push. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. A quick tip now. If you're just starting out, use very slow tempos, like somewhere between 45 BPM to 60 BPM, which you can set in the Live transport. Practice these consistently and correctly, and practice them a little bit every day, and you'll find that it will really improve your drumming. Start yourself off at exercise A0 in the Live set to get started. You'll notice that you can hear my voice as a counting guide. Another tip, my voice will get really annoying after a while. So the sooner that you learn to count these out yourself, the sooner you can turn my counting guide off. All of the beats in this lesson use 3 parts, which relate to the 3 parts on the drum kit. We have the hi-hat, the kick drum, and the snare drum. If you've already been practicing beat A0 for a little while now, you'll be getting used to counting and playing the hi-hat part, which goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our beat maps are mapped out in the following way. The hi-hats are represented by small yellow dots, which are on every beat. The green K circles are kick sounds. The yellow circles with an S in them are snare sounds. You can see here in beat A1 that the kick is on beats 1 and 3, and the snare is on beats 2 and 4, and the hi-hat is on every beat. I can break the beat down into easy to digest parts while I'm playing along with the beat clock. For example, I could play just the hi-hat part on its own.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
I could also play the kick drum on its own on beats 1 and 3 while I count.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Good, and I could play the snare drum part on beats 2 and 4.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Now that's nice and slow. And I can slowly speed things up. Let's change my tempo a little bit. And now I'm going to play kick and snare together.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Now I'm going to add my hi-hat part to the kick and snare. See how that goes.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
So we slowly move through the set, and you can see that the beats will slowly become more complex. If I jump over to beat A7 here, for example, you'll see that the kick drum starts to become more syncopated. I'll slow it down a little bit. To be syncopated basically means to play off the main beats of the rhythm.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1
and so on. I've also included a call and response section in the set, which looks like this. The first kind, I set my tempo, and the first kind of call response has no hi-hat part. So it's just got kick drums and snare drums. Check this out.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
So these call and responses slowly get more and more complicated. And as I get later on, you'll find some beats like this, especially if I speed them up a little bit, it can start to get a bit more challenging.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
And when you're feeling really brave, you can play the call and response part, which includes the hi-hat. It's called call and response whole beat. And when I play that one, it's like this.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and
Start with beat A1 and gradually work your way through the beats, being strict with yourself to make sure that they are accurate and in time. You'll find you'll have a lot more success if you practice a little bit every day rather than one big binge practice every now and then at irregular intervals. So I recommend doing at least 10 to 15 minutes every day, and if you do that for a few weeks, you're going to see really big results with your beat making skills. As I mentioned before, these beats can be played on a range of controllers, including keyboards. Check this out. The live set to start practicing with is at the link below. Download it and get practicing. I've also included the beat clock animations A0 through to A8 as videos which you can watch online in your browser or on your mobile device, so you can practice these beats just about anywhere. You'll find those videos at noisemakeracademy.com. In the next video, we're going to be giving away a drum rack, which is a multi-sampled version of this exact drum kit here. Really useful for making beats with. And we're also going to start to explore 16th note grooves, which sound a little bit like this. Sped up, they might sound like this. That's all for now. I'm Josh Hogan from Noisemaker Academy. Please join our Beatmaker mailing list. We'll have a regular newsletter with tips and tricks for improving your beat making skills massively. And happy practicing.